Good evening all, or I guess good morning. It's 12:13 in the morning for me. We just found out that the girl who 9 years ago got absolutely incinerated by fire was named Akane Kurashiki. What do you know?
Her name was Akane Kurashiki.
There it is. Something inside of Junpei stopped. He had no more words left. He had no more Junpei left. Well, there's no more Akane left, so he was just a shell of flesh and bone. Seven turned to snake.
You were there that day, weren't you? The tall kid in the jacket. That was you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. You are correct, Detective.
Junpei's mind was blank, withdrawn from the world. Somewhere far away, you could hear Seven and Snake talking.
Don't misunderstand me. I told you before how Zero threatened me. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't say anything about what happened 9 years ago.
So you're saying you're not working for Zero, right?
Why would
Of course not.
Clover, what about you?
Hey, come on! You really think I'm working with Zero? I told you before, you idiot! I was in Nevada, in Building Q. I did hear that a detective rescued the kids on the boat, but I didn't know it was you.
Her surprise seemed to be genuine. Seven regarded Clover for a moment, then rubbed his chin thoughtfully.
Well, I guess I believe you.
Clover nodded.
Alright, let me ask you another question.
He stuck his hands into his pockets and took a few steps. Then he stopped and turned to face them again.
Santa's real name is Aoi Kurashiki.
Ha.
He's Akane's brother.
Yes.
You know that?
No, I didn't. Did you?
Well, yes. I know Aoi Kurashiki was her brother, but I didn't know he was Santa. At least not from the beginning. 9 years ago, he was in the middle of puberty. His voice is entirely different now.
Still whiny and annoying.
I'm ashamed to say that even my exceptional hearing wasn't able to make that connection. As such, I had no reason to think Santa was Aoi.
Aoi.
When did you figure it out?
Clover told me that Santa might have been one of the subjects of the initial experiment. It was only a short while ago, while we were leaving the library.
That's like, okay, well,
When she
say
told
a
me
short
that,
while ago.
I had a feeling.
Santa is Aoi? Akane Kurashiki, June's brother?
That spark caught flame in Junpei's leaden mind, and the fog began to clear. Like an engine beginning to turn, images and thoughts began to coalesce in his mind, coming faster and faster, forming bigger images, bigger thoughts. Junpei blinked. He was back.
There's still a lot we don't know. I mean, like a lot.
Oh.
But there is one thing I think we can say we know.
What's that?
The body we found in the shower room.
Was whatever his name is.
It had to be Nijisaki.
That's it.
Dressed up to look like Snake.
What?
Come on, man. What kind of detective are you? You didn't figure that out already?
Yeah, come on.
Hey, go easy on me, man. I just got my memory back, alright?
Yeah. So did Date.
Well, if he is, the 3 murders make sense then, don't they?
That
Yeah,
is.
That's right.
true.
Murder. Kubota blew himself up, but that was murder too.
Yep.
So why did these murders take place?
Ace.
If Junpei is correct, and the body in the shower room was Nijisaki's, that means all of the people who were murdered were involved with the creation of the Nonary project.
Indeed. But why would Ace murder?
Kubota, the person who conducted the actual experiments.
Yeah.
Nijisaki, Hongo's assistant. Musashido, the man who financed the project.
You mean this was all just revenge? Santa is Zero. He's getting revenge for the death of his sister.
See, that's what I'd think, but with this amount of games still to play, anything's possible.
That's why he killed them.
No, I don't think Santa actually murdered anyone.
In fact, Junpei didn't think, he knew. Couldn't explain why or how, but he had no doubt that Santa had killed no one. Perhaps the madness of the last several hours was finally driving him insane, but Junpei had ceased to be surprised by this sudden knowledge, and had even begun to
If
accept
I'm right,
it.
then it's not hard to figure out who the next victim's gonna be, is it?
Ace?
I'm
But
pretty
he's the one
sure I
killing.
don't have to tell you.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Snake, Clover, and Seven all nodded.
The next target will be Gintaro Hongo.
Bingo.
The person who planned the nonary project.
But didn't he kill everyone?
In other words, Ace.
Hey. There was a moment of silence.
What?
And then the room shook. From far away they heard the sudden rush of water. Right.
What the hell's going on here?
It must be 6 a.m. Our time is up.
Shit!
Nice one, idiot. You unironically spent an hour talking about some kids.
Come on, we need to get out of here.
How?
The key in the drawer that held the picture was a key card. Junpei grabbed it.
I'm betting this sucker opens the exit. Come on, let's go.
Alright. New material has been added to the file screen. Keycard 0. Okay, what's the file screen? Well, what's on them? A picture taken 9 years ago. Setting up the table. Oh, I don't think I want to search the coffin. Let's go. Alright, let's just swipe this card. Thank God. Junpei, look! It's unlocked! Yeah, now we can go back to the library. Alright, Junpei, we don't have time, let's go. Oh, this just does a loop of the thing. Of course. Let's go. Ah. Get ready. You found it. We most certainly did. Gained all memories of escape in 999. Seek a way out again. So I think that's our final quote-unquote escape room, but I think there's a final one. The door opened and they stumbled into the library.
Huh. I think the shaking stopped.
Great, only so much more to go.
It would seem so, but we are yet to be out of danger.
You guys ready for your Spike Chunsoft Chapter 6 lore dump? I know I am.
You're right. Let's hurry.
They ran across the hallway,
This exit needs the Uranus card too.
straight for the large metal door. Next to the door was the Uranus card reader.
Hey, Junpei.
Yeah, I know.
Said the key got through and the door rumbled open. Okay.
All right, it's open. Let's go.
Out of the library and into the hallway they ran. At the end of the hallway was a door. Junpei reached into his pocket to pull out the key as he ran towards it. Yes, I get it. Everyone's playing Counter-Strike 2. It's the release day.
Okay, Neptune Key, let's see if you work.
He turned it.
Yes! I think it unlocked.
Oh no. The lock clicked. As one, they shoved the door open and poured through it. Oh, that's right. It's another great metal door. Above it was a metal plaque.
It says incinerator. So this is the incinerator.
This is the first time I've seen it from this side, but yeah.
Then there ought to be a lever near the door.
Yeah, right here.
Junpei ran up to it.
Pull that and the door should open.
Got it.
As he spoke, he pulled the lever. Why didn't they just do that for Akane? The motor in the door groaned as it slowly ground open. There was no time to
Let's
waste.
go.
As soon as the door had opened far enough to admit them, all four dashed through. And what a fall this is, by the way. Then suddenly, there before him, were the four they'd parted from earlier. Ace, June, Lotus, and Santa. Ace and Lotus stood in front of the number 9 door. We've been standing around talking for an hour. What on earth are the other two doing? Also, why this music? Oh. Santa was called into a ball against the wall of the incinerator, holding his stomach. Then there was June. She sat slumped against the wall, exhausted.
What the hell is going on?
Drugs. They're all being drugged by Ace. Junpei ran towards June. He skidded to a stop in front of her and knelt down.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Her face was pale and her lips dry. Oh god, I've read this 10 times. When she spoke, you could barely hear it.
You came to get me.
Of course I did. I made a promise.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad.
Oh god, here we go again. She mumbled the same words over and over weakly. Junpei could feel his heart
Hey,
breaking.
what happened to you?
I'm fine. I just fainted. I wasn't feeling very good.
Shocked by
I'm
Ace.
feeling a lot better now, though.
Yeah, you look at
Are you sure?
Yes. I just need to rest a little longer. I'm sure I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't worry about me.
She was looking towards Santa. Junpei turned to look as well.
Santa.
Santa grimaced, his face contorted in pain. Seven grabs him by the collar and roared at him.
Hey, where is it? Where's the gun? You hide it somewhere?
Despite himself, a grunt of pain escaped Santa's lips as Seven shook him.
Don't have it. I got sucker punched and they took the gun.
They?
What? Who took it?
What? Isn't that obvious?
Both of them?
I took the gun.
Lotus? Oh, there we go. I've seen this
Ace.
before. He did indeed have the revolver in his hand. It was pressed against Lotus's temple. Yep, we've seen this before. Ace had her pinned to. Oh my god, the chocolate's gonna melt because I had it next to the fan. No, who cares? Ace had her pinned to him with the other arm, and she was shaking visibly. Her fiery attitude was gone, replaced by fear. She didn't dare speak. There was sweat on her forehead. When her eyes went flickering up to the gun pressed against her, they seemed to desperately want to say something.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing, Ace? Or maybe I ought to say Gentaro Hongo, CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
You idiot, that wasn't meant to be our card. We were supposed to play those close to our chest. Seven's deep baritone rumble shook the walls. Ace
You
sneered.
have me at a disadvantage. And I don't like that. You know me, but I don't know you.
No, really?
Do you have any idea how much I've suffered? Can you even begin to understand my pain?
Oh no, you only got to kill one child.
The pain of prosopagnosia, right?
Not that. Junpei was just casual, or at least it was trying to be.
Another irritating insect. And how do you know that?
Good question.
I don't know. Junpei couldn't say, he just knew. Another unexplainable mystery.
No matter. If you don't want to answer, it makes no difference to me.
That's such an interesting take, because like, it's something that's been drilled into the player's head for like root upon root upon root, like for hours. And yet, in this playthrough, they have no clue. But it's still fresh in the mind, so it's like, oh yeah, he has prosopagnosia. How do we know that? It's a great question, wish I knew.
This is a waste of time anyway. It's time for me to go.
Behind Ace, Junpei could see the red. It was placed in a small indentation on the wall. 1, 8, and he's got the something. Ace placed his hand on the scanner.
First is 1. Give me your hand.
Beeped, and he forced Lotus's hand onto it as well. Oh, we still have 5 after this.
8.
Well, they won't be, but if we're not even, we've got like another 3 to 4 hours to go.
And with this,
And at last, he reached into the pocket of his jacket, he pulled something out and pressed it against the panel. The 0, and or the 9.
9.
There it is. The thing he'd used for the final verification was a bracelet with the number 9.
The ninth man. Kubota's bracelet.
Stop saying their names, I'm not gonna remember them this late in the game.
I believe I've won this game.
I can't even... I should probably try and write them down. Yeah, okay. Hold on, I'll write them down. Kubota, 9th. Nijisaki, you are Snake, Ace, Cap. Alright. His smirk made Junpei's blood
I've had
boil.
quite a time playing with you. I must thank Zero, I suppose.
Wait, what? Ace doesn't know who Zero is.
Huh. So you just think Santa's crazy? Junpei's eyes flickered towards Santa. No, I just punched him because I felt like it. He was being a real pain in the backside, if you know what I mean. He hadn't moved since they'd entered the room. Santa was still holding his stomach and groaning as if in intense pain. Junpei wasn't sure if it was real pain. He wasn't sure it wasn't either.
What the hell are you planning, Santa?
Oh no.
At any rate, this game ends now. I will escape, and the rest of you will have a slightly less pleasant ending.
What?
I suggest you enjoy your final moments. Goodbye.
Wait!
Ace, of course, paid no heed to Seven's request and laid hold of the lever on the red. With a sickening sense of finality, he pulled it.
What? Why isn't it opening? One more time.
One more time. Lotus tried to take advantage of Ace's confusion, managed to survive his grasp, but at the last second, he grabbed hold of her wrist and shoved it onto the red.
Now open!
He waved the number 9 bracelet over the red, and his own bracelet as well. Because the number 9 isn't the number 9? Because Santa is the one with the number 9. No, June is, sorry. He pulled the lever a second time. Ooh.
No! What is this? Why? That digital root should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Ace's fearing confusion had overridden all other thoughts. He had set down the revolver. It was just below the red.
Now!
Seven chose that moment to act. He moved far faster than a man of his bulk should have been able to, and he launched that bulk straight at Ace. Jesus Christ. It was over before they knew it. In the blink of an eye, Ace was on the floor. He rolled onto his side, groaning in pain. And now Santa's gonna be like, "Oh, thank you for doing my job for me." Lotus ran straight for Junpei. He darted around. She darted around behind him and stuck her head out, making sure to keep Junpei between herself and Ace.
Oh, that was close. Too close. Thank you, Seven.
Yeah, and up comes Santa.
Don't mention it.
Seven stood over Ace, his breathing slow and heavy.
Just one punch ain't enough for this piece of shit. After what he did 9 years ago, I ought to rip him to pieces.
One
But
punch!
if a suspect can't talk, they ain't much good.
Yeah, it's true.
Once he's locked up in a cell, we're gonna have a little chat.
9 years ago? Then you must be...
Stop giving him motives to kill you.
Yeah, you finally figured it out, dumbass.
No, it's harsh but true. Ace planted his hands on the floor and shook his head. Junpei walked toward him. He stopped, looked down at Ace with pity on his face.
Ace, you killed Kubota, Nijisaki, and Musashido, didn't you?
Called it.
Wait, Nijisaki?
Uh-huh. He peered at Junpei, genuinely confused.
Oh, right. You don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll just go through them in order then. Let's start off with Kubota. You talked to Kubota and managed to convince him to go into door 5 alone.
But there's no reason Junpei should know that in this timeline.
You killed him without making it look like you killed him.
Yep.
The way I figure it, you had 4 motives. 1.
Here we go.
In the nonary game, the number 9 is dangerous.
This is the same. This is exactly what he said.
Whoever had the 9 bracelet could join whatever team they wanted.
Oh my god, he's just repeating what he told him.
Adding 9 to any number doesn't change the digital root.
Yep. Yep.
Which means that number 9 could do whatever they wanted. You wanted to remove that threat as soon as possible. 2. You wanted the number 9 bracelet for yourself,
Yes.
so that you could make use of its power.
Indeed. He did. Maybe.
In fact, you did use it in the murder of Nijisaki.
Oh yeah.
3. Even if his number hadn't been 9, Kubota was a problem. He knew your past. He knew what had happened 9 years before.
Wait.
You needed to silence him before he told anyone.
Yes, he did.
4. But last, and perhaps you used Kubota as a test.
Yep.
You wanted to know how serious this nonary game was. Was it truly life or death, or simply a harmless prank? You convinced him to break the rules so you could see what would happen. That was why you killed Kubota. But he was only the first. Next was Nijisaki. While everyone was off looking for the missing parts for the Reds, you ran into Nijisaki near the big hospital room. However, because of your prosopagnosia, You didn't realize he was Nijisaki.
But why?
Chiefly
Why was
because when you met him, he was dressed like Snake. That was why you thought Nijisaki was Snake.
No, that's not... That was Nijisaki? Why? How did...
That's what
I'll get
asking.
to that. Anyway, you thought he was Snake.
When does Alice come
Snake
into all
was
this?
one of the kids in your experiment 9 years ago. You remembered him because he was the blind kid.
Was he
But
blind
his
then?
presence made you think. Snake was one of my subjects 9 years ago. He probably hates me. But if that's true, why isn't he saying anything? Is he keeping quiet because he can't see? Or perhaps he's working with Zero to get revenge on me. Whatever the reason, anyone who knows my past is a threat. Before he tries anything, I need to get rid of him. That was when you decided you had to kill him. The murder weapon was Kubota's bracelet. You just waved it over the red,
Uh-huh. One.
verified your own number, and then grabbed Nijisaki's arm and forced it over the scanner panel.
Kubota's. 9, 1,
Then,
2.
when the door opened, you
Oh,
kicked
3.
him in. 9 seconds later, the door closed. And then 81 seconds passed. And poor Nijisaki was dead.
I wouldn't say poor. He was complacent.
And you mean to say... Snake is still alive?
What do you mean? He's standing right
Sorry
here.
to disappoint
Oh,
you,
yeah.
but I'm as good as new. Thank you for killing the wrong man. But I can't say I like knowing that you wanted me dead.
I'm not gonna lay all my cards on the table yet. But if it stays like this, Snake is one of my favorite characters. Considering I thought he was Zero.
Although,
Still
to
might
be honest, even if you hadn't tried to kill me, I would still hate you very much.
You would, I believe so, yes. That makes more sense.
Well, I wouldn't blame you.
Ace's self-derision was frustrating, but Junpei kept his emotions in check and continued.
Last but not least, let's talk about Musashido's death. When Clover and I were investigating the chart room, you came over to talk to me. Do you remember what you said?
What did you say?
Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
I handed it to you, and you left the room. You had been in charge of the nonary project. Of course you would have known the solution to every puzzle,
Oh.
which would mean that you also knew how to get out of the wheelhouse. All you
Yeah.
had to do was place the watch in the indentation on the door to unlock it. With the door open, you could enter the captain's quarters. Musashido was there. Conveniently placed next to him was an axe that practically begged you to kill him with it. You picked up that axe and buried the blade deep in the other man's chest. One blow was all it took. And then you returned to the chart room as if nothing had happened.
Oh, he killed him then.
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei.
Oh.
Could you come with me for a moment?
I had no reason to say no, so I followed you to the wheelhouse. When we stepped inside, remember how you slipped your hand into my vest? You pulled out a piece of paper, the one I used to cheat during the vote.
Uh-huh.
But that wasn't really what you were after. Your true purpose had been to slip the watch into
Yep.
my pocket. It wasn't a very good plan. Had way too many holes, and someone saying the wrong thing could have brought it all down around you.
Yeah, it
You
was.
must have been desperate. But what made you willing to risk it all to do it? Ace,
That was the only thing Junpei hadn't been able to figure out.
Musashido's murder is the only one I don't understand. You obviously did it. But why?
Because of this.
Slowly, Ace reached down and pulled something out of his pocket. It was a folded piece of
What's
paper.
with the paper?
Just read it.
Made you look. Junpei took it and
Let's
opened
see.
it. This is what it said.
Number 1. There are 2 ways you might survive this ordeal. The first is to win the nonary game. The second is for you to confess your sins of 9 years past.
From Zero.
I've prepared a camera in the captain's quarters.
Oh.
The images captured by that camera will be streamed through a satellite and distributed across the world.
Oh.
Simply look into the camera and repent. Once you have confessed everything, I will release you from this ship. To make your confession more credible, I have left you a witness in the captain's quarters. Perhaps he will confess with you. The decision is yours. Do as you please.
Huh.
Zero.
Yeah, that's right.
When I awoke in that room on D-Deck, I found that in my pocket. That was why I chose door 1 when we voted. If I went through that door, I knew I could get to the captain's quarters. As you said, I knew how to enter the wheelhouse. My plan was to find the pocket watch before anyone else. If I could, then my alibi would be set. At least, that was the plan. Unfortunately for me, you got to it first.
Yeah.
That sleight of hand was the best I could manage on short notice.
You meant to kill him from the beginning then?
Jesus.
Musashido, I mean.
I only knew Musashido was the witness after I reached the captain's quarters.
Oh.
I asked him, and he answered. He seemed groggy. Perhaps he had only just awoken from sedation. I suppose Nijisaki was in much the same state. He seemed confused and disoriented when I encountered him.
That is true.
But yes, you are correct. I intended to kill him from the beginning, even though I didn't know who he was.
Oh my god, you're insane.
I proceeded to the captain's quarters in order to remove this so-called witness.
In front of the camera that streamed everything, Ace had confessed everything. What energy had left with the truth? What energy had left with him? What energy he had left him with the truth that he sagged on his knees? I don't know what that said. Although he had confessed, his sins were not forgiven. Junpei felt a revulsion for the pathetic men on the floor near his feet. But in among the revulsion was a hint of pity. After all, Ace had not been the only person who murdered those 3 men. Junpei spoke
Ace.
quietly.
You figured it out, haven't you? You were being manipulated.
Yes, so it would seem.
So it would seem.
I was little more than a puppet, in many ways. Everywhere I went, everything was already prepared.
The axe, the him wandering around.
The Reds in the large hospital room were dismantled. Nijisaki was dressed like Snake.
Yeah,
There was an axe in the captain's quarters.
yeah.
Musashido was delirious from the anesthetic, so he couldn't fight back. Nijisaki as well. In retrospect, I can't understand how I could have fallen into such a simple trap. But yes, this was a trap.
And let's give it like, in the time that we've talked, Senta had gotten up and taken June
It was
hostage.
Zero's trap, and I fell for it.
Oh my
Hook, line, and
god, he's...
sinker.
Why is
I
no
did
one...
everything he wanted me to do.
Why is no one checking on Santa and June?
Yeah.
June is just sitting in a corner and Santa is just also sitting in a
By
corner.
manipulating you, Zero was able to kill 3 people and keep the blood off his own hands. All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. Am I right?
It's fading out. And we're gonna see who he's gonna talk to. We know it's Santa, but we gotta spread it into next episode because it's already 28 minutes. See you then.